So 2023 was not a year that didn't have a lot of headlines. I don't think I'm the only one to be happy that it's over. The biggest headline of 2023 in the real estate industry was commissioned lawsuits. And this was a gangbuster lawsuit, the Sitzer-Burnett lawsuit. On October 31st, the judgment came out. National Association of Realtors, REMAX, Home Services America, and a couple other companies were fined over $6 billion. And it wasn't a fine, it was a lawsuit and it was settled. Basically saying that the commission setup of how things are done in real estate is wrong and inflates prices that buyers and sellers have to pay. Now, this really changes the whole dynamics of how real estate is set up, because most people list their house, they pay a co-broke to bring their buyer's agent in. The buyer's agent is paid from the seller. It's changing the status of how things have done. There's over 12 copycat lawsuits going on out there. Bigger news items for consumers out there was interest rates went up over 40% in just 12 months due to inflation. The feds came out and said, hey, listen, we need to curb inflation, stop it, so let's start jacking rates up. And we saw the first 6 months of the year were pretty steady, but all of a sudden the last 6 months of the year really kind of fell off because interest rates for consumers went from about 5.5% to almost 8% in just about 3 or 4 months. It really put a damper on people putting their houses in the market. It really put a damper on the buyers what they could afford. Pre-2023, you could buy a house all day for about $2,000 a month. To just 6 to 8 months later, that rate went over $3,500 for a first-time buyer. So interest rates have come down 20% just in the last 6 weeks. So that's amazing news right there. And I think you're gonna continue to see low interest rates all year. And the positive side, you might see more listings, more inventory come out there, because as interest rates have come down, money's gotten tight for a lot of consumers out there. So even dropping interest rates might not be enough to bring a lot of buyers back to it, which is a good opportunity for buyers to be able to maybe negotiate a good deal for their house. Maybe the prices for sellers will soften a little bit and you won't get into as many bidding wars, but time will tell and we'll see how we make out with that. So that's the outlook. Let's get into the numbers and let's take a look at 2023. Really what I do is a comparison of 22 to 23. As we look at the numbers, we're seeing single family new listings are down 20% year over year. Multifamily listings were down 20% year over year, and condos were down a little over 14% year over year for new listings. There was 10,535 sales in the state of Rhode Island in 2023, which is down 23% year over year and down 40% since COVID really hit and disturbed the whole entire real estate market out there. We're seeing the largest dip is multifamily sales, down almost 30% year over year. The biggest thing that's happened has really been a constriction on inventory. And I think that's really come from two reasons: is 70 to 80% of Americans have a mortgage rate under 3%, and they're really married to that rate. So they didn't put their house in the market, which had more of a constriction on the number of homes for sale. Plus, being a super hot market for the last 3 years, I think a lot of home sellers sold their houses in 21, 22. Normally maybe would have sold in 23, but they were kind of moving their plans sooner because the market was so hot. Those two things combined really put a damper on the market in 23, plus inflation, plus all those other things out there. Looking forward to 2024, I don't think you're gonna see a huge increase in number of sales. I do believe that you're gonna see an increase in inventory. The recent news, the last 4 to 6 weeks, we've seen interest rates drop 20%. It's an election year, tend to see stabilization of interest rates. I think that's gonna fuel the market. You could see the same problem though, an oversupply of buyers and a low supply of inventory could put us right back into the market that we had in 2022 or 23. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. That's last year's 2023's market update. If you'd like to find out what your home is worth, go over to nathanclarkteam.com. Stay up to date with the market conditions, facts, and thanks for watching.